who now runs the Northwoods Petroleum Museum in Wisconsin, tells KNX, in the 50s, most stations began ending their prices at 9/10 of a cent, and it's been that way ever since.
It's the only product that's sold that way. Everything else can be sold, tax added later, but not gasoline. So they kept the 10th of a cent, and they'll probably keep it forever. $7.99, $9 is not $8.
Jacobson says listing gas just below pricing, say for instance $4.99 instead of $5, is a lot more attractive to customers.
Air taxis could soon be a reality in Southern California. Two Southland companies have partnered to work on creating a fleet of all-electric vertical takeoff taxis that can ferry passengers and cargo. Overair says its Butterfly aircraft has 4 rotors and will be capable of carrying up to 6 people at speeds of 200 miles an hour. The company hopes to have the vehicles up and running in 2026.
An update on an ailing rock star from CBS News correspondent Deborah Rodriguez.
Sharon Osbourne says her husband Ozzy is doing well after grueling surgery to remove and realign pins in his neck and back. In a statement posted to her Instagram page, Sharon says Ozzy is on the road to recovery and the family's grateful for the love and support from fans. Photos show the 73-year-old being wheeled out of an LA hospital a day after the operation and standing up on his own to get into a Range Rover. Ozzy needed neck surgery after suffering a fall in 2020 when he revealed he'd been diagnosed with Parkinson's 17 years earlier. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
On we go to the Money Watch. We're checking in with Joan Doniger. Wall Street signaled enthusiastic approval of Federal Reserve Chair Jay Powell's assurance that the interest rate hike we saw today could be the biggest we'll see. The stock averages rose 1 to 2.5%, with the Dow up 304 points, the Nasdaq 271, the S&P 55. Powell says the 0.75% interest rate increase today could be repeated next month, but he doesn't see that becoming common. The Fed move sent oil prices settling below $116 a barrel for the first time in 2 weeks. And with gas prices averaging around $5 a gallon, demand is edging lower too. Our spending took a hit for the first time in 5 months. In May, retail spending fell, driven by a big drop in spending on cars. There still aren't many available. And the pandemic may be showing some ripple effects. Survey data from Morning Consult finds 2 of the top 3 most trusted brands in the U.S., Lysol and Clorox. Dow Jones says tops on the list are Band-Aids. Joan Doniger, Bloomberg Business for KCBS. Introducing an all-new way to save with Xfinity. It's the 3-for-1 bundle. Get unlimited internet, streaming, and Xfinity Mobile, all for what you could pay wireless companies for just one 5G unlimited line. That is an unbelievable value. And now, also with Xfinity Internet, you can get unlimited data, Wi-Fi equipment, and a free Flex 4K streaming box included, with a 2-year rate guarantee and no term contract. This is all for just $30 per month when you add an Xfinity mobile plan at regular rates. So why not go to Xfinity.com/3-for-1. Call 1-800-XFINITY, or you can visit an Xfinity store today. Limited time offer, restrictions apply, requires paperless billing and auto pay. New fast internet 300 megabits per second customers only. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity internet. After 24 months, regular rates apply to all services and devices.
You and your loved ones deserve an outdoor space that makes you smile, not cringe. As your #1 designer and installer of elegant outdoor living systems, System Favors has helped more than 80,000 homeowners create outdoor spaces they love coming home to every day. And you're next. Let System Favors help create a view you can proudly share with friends and family for generations. We'll even kickstart your outdoor remodel with free demolition and removal of your old hardscape. Contact us right now to save up to thousands with this limited time offer. Plus, take advantage of special financing. 800-PAVE-004 or visit SystemFavors.com today to get started. From welcoming guests with a gorgeous new driveway to dinner on the patio or wine by the fire pit, it all begins by calling System Favors at 800-PAVE-004. That's 800-PAVE-004 or visit SystemFavors.com right now.
All orders must be placed by June 30th. Financing subject to credit approval. See website for details. Contractor's license 661575. Today we're talking about things that make us uncomfortable, like middle seat on an airplane, or having a real conversation about ED, impotence for low testosterone. At Prime Male Medical, they've helped thousands of men in the Bay Area. Here's Dr. Robert Rowley.
We have virtually every medication known to man
your first visit, PSA and testosterone test, Doppler ultrasound, and a full year follow-up visits for just $99. Learn more at PrimeMaleMedical.com or call 415-761-4037. That's 415-761-4037.
Vestal is waiting for us in your local Honda dealers traffic center with the very latest around the Bay Area, including on 880 in Fremont.
Well, we've got a new problem on the Nimitz Freeway. It's an injury accident southbound at 880 just after the Stevenson, the interchange there. Cars involved, 3 of them, all on the right-hand shoulder, but I can see where they still come out body collision cam. It's already backed up to Thornton in the southbound direction. The northbound ride slow and stretches off and on between Fremont and Hayward. We did have a crash northbound 880 at Whipple Road. If it's still there, no lanes are blocked. Activity would be still on the right-hand shoulder. They may have cleared that one up. You're right out of Fremont to the Snow Grade, northbound 680. So far, so good. I see some brake lines as you head down the hill past Sheridan Road to the 84 interchange. And then as you get through Pleasanton, no accidents, but I do see slow and go conditions almost all the way to the Dublin interchange with a merge there with a 580. Next update at 3:08 on the traffic leader, KCBS. Getting rather toasty inland, 80s to low 90s today, 70s near the bay, still stuck in the 60s at the coast. But we are going to see a pretty significant cool down start tomorrow. Temperatures bottoming out on Friday and Saturday. Traffic and weather together on KCBS. Coming up,
I'm Chris and Carlo. We'll be waiting a bit longer for some of the marquee cases of this Supreme Court term. I'll have more. How long the wait?
Michael Wall in Santa Rosa, a supportive housing facility once seen as a model for the community, has now been overrun by drugs, crime, and prostitution.
And the Fed raising interest rates 3/4 of one point.
Good afternoon. I'm Patty Weising.
I'm Jeff Bell.
CBS News next. When you need to know, KCBS AM, KFRC FM, and HD1, San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose, and all these stations. 3 o'clock.
CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Fabric Life Insurance.
I'm Monica Ricks in New York. It's the biggest interest rate hike in 28 years.
Today, the Federal Open Market Committee raised its policy interest rate by 0.75 percentage point and anticipates that ongoing increases in that rate will be appropriate.
Fed Chair Jerome Powell says it's working to tackle rising inflation costs that are hurting many Americans.
Inflation is a problem. Groceries are more expensive. Fuel prices go up.
But this will help. CBS's Jill Schlesinger. The Fed is trying to reduce the rate of inflation fairly quickly at this point without pushing rates so high that it tips the country into a recession. Another rate hike is expected in a few months. Dr. Anthony Fauci has tested positive for COVID. He's experiencing mild symptoms right now and is isolating and working from home. Fauci is vaccinated and double boosted, and the White House says he's not been in recent close contact with the president. An FDA panel has signed off on COVID shots for kids under 5 by both Moderna and Pfizer.
If the CDC also signs off on the shots over this holiday weekend, federal health officials have said the earliest shots might go into arms as soon as Tuesday.
CBS's Alexander Tins. Have you stepped outside today?
Feels like a sun out here.
Heat continues to plague millions of Americans with triple-digit temperatures hitting many central and southern states today. Out west, it's fueling dangerous wildfires. The U.S. has committed another $1 billion worth of military aid to help Ukraine. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin.
We must intensify our shared commitment to Ukraine's self-defense, and we must push ourselves even harder to ensure that Ukraine can defend itself, its citizens, and its territory.
Jose Andres is a chef with the World's Central Kitchen, says a Russian missile blew up one of their food trains in eastern Ukraine today. No one was hurt, but the organization has been working to serve millions of meals there since the war started. A high-profile defendant in the January 6th Capitol attack now faces serious jail time. CBS's Scott McFarland has details.
Kevin Seafried of Laurel, Delaware will face sentencing September 16th, convicted on all charges in his January 6th case. Seafried is the man who carried the Confederate flag around the U.S. Capitol that day. Among other things, the judge cited the allegation Seafried not only carried the flag, but jabbed it at U.S. Capitol Police Officer Eugene Goodman.
His conviction comes ahead of another hearing on the insurrection tomorrow. This one will focus on President Trump's alleged pressure on former VP Mike Pence to overturn President Biden's election win. The hearing will start at 1 p.m. Eastern. This is CBS News.
Brought to you by Fabric. Parents, cross off life insurance from your to-do list today with affordable term life insurance from Fabric. Apply now risk-free at meetfabric.com/future.
It's 3:03 at the Bay Area's news station, KCBS. We've warmed up a little bit more this afternoon, but temperatures are going to be on their way down starting tomorrow. Good afternoon. I'm Patty Rising.
And I'm Jeff Bell. 6 more opinions have been handed down from the nation's highest court. But as KCBS's Chris Ancarlo reports, we are still waiting on some of the most highly anticipated decisions.
Key among them is Dobbs v. Jackson, which could mean the overturning of Roe v. Wade. There are also cases about prayer in schools, climate regulation, and gun control.
They're going to come down relatively soon.
UC Hastings School of Law professor Rory Little is a former Supreme Court clerk.
They usually try to finish by the end of the month. Today we're halfway through June. And they're now doing opinion days 2 days a week. And at the very end, they might do opinion days 3 days a week.
He says he thinks the court will probably wait until the final day of the term to announce opinions on the cases involving abortion and guns. Typically, the term closes at the end of June. Among the opinions handed down today, an overturning of a labor law here in California that allows private lawsuits on behalf of workers who have arbitration agreements. The court also declined to decide on a case brought by 13 states against San Francisco in an attempt to reinstate a Trump-era immigration policy denying green cards to people who accept certain government benefits. Chris Ancarlo, KCBS.
Once seen as a model of supportive housing, those living in Santa Rosa's Palms Inn now say the facility's been overrun by drugs and filth. KCBS's Mike DeWalt reports the state of things has left many wondering where the oversight went.
Those living at the former hotel site say the Palms Inn began with the great promise of possibilities and a growing community. But as time went on, the attention turned from what was initially seen as a success story. Kalani Raposa lives at the Palms. He says things began to change.
There are people living at the Palms that aren't residents there, but they control the environment.
Raposa says the Palms became overrun. Crime, prostitution, sales and use of meth and fentanyl is rampant with little to no response.
All night long, people yelling and screaming. You have couples in the parking lot fighting over the last year to dope. At night, the last thing I hear before I fall asleep at night are drug deals being made outside of my door.
He says it was a problem only worsened by the pandemic.
I talked to my case manager and said, things are getting pretty bad here. And his suggestion to me was move.
Raposa says Catholic Charities case managers used to be visible, check in regularly. Now they're barely around.
The case managers are so out of touch with their clients that they don't even know when they die. And that's a problem.
In Santa Rosa, Mike DeWalt, KCBS.
In another blow to San Francisco's mid-market neighborhood, Block is leaving its headquarters. The tech company formerly known as Square plans to allow employees to work remotely full-time. And as KCBS's David Welch explains, local businesses expect to feel the loss.
Uber moved their headquarters from this neighborhood last year. Now Block is the latest tech firm to leave this once thriving pocket of the city. Catherine Chow runs an udon shop in the same building as Block. She says that even with people working from home, Block's employees made up a big chunk of their business.
I mean, we still see them from time to time, employees here and there, but not as much as, pre-pandemic.
Chow says she worries about what the news will mean for the neighborhood.
There's going to be less foot traffic, and it's going to make the area seem less activated.
She says her business has been waiting for workers to return to the office.
We're hopeful that people would come back for 3-4 days a week, and now, with all the surges, things just keep getting pushed back.
And she sees Block's decision to go fully remote as another challenge for the udon shop.
Small businesses, we can only wait for them so long. We kind of rely on the neighborhood, so it's hard. It's definitely a challenge every day.
In San Francisco, David Welch, KCBS.
San Francisco's increasing traffic fatalities has one supervisor calling for a public town hall meeting after every deadly traffic accident on city streets. Supervisor Dean Preston introduced the resolution yesterday, noting that the city already has 15 traffic fatalities this year, the highest year-to-date count since 2019. The town halls would look similar to ones the police department holds after officer-involved shootings. Just ahead on KCBS.
I'm Jeffrey Chow in Orange County. Firefighters will begin vegetation along what will be 83 miles of fuel breaks.
3:08 as we continue our Wednesday traffic watch, and this update is sponsored by Stanford Children's Health and Kim Vessel. You've spotted some black smoke visible from 80 near Dixon.
Yeah, so we're getting calls from the KCBS phone force about reduced visibility, mainly westbound Interstate 80. So the situation is we've got firefighters in the Dixon area. It's a rather large brush fire burning near the freeway. It started a little bit before 3 o'clock near Interstate 80 and Curry Road. Thick smoke drifting into the westbound lanes mainly. So that's why traffic is starting to bunch up. I tweeted a photograph of that black smoke, so we're updating that. Follow us on Twitter, KCBS AM/FM Traffic. So no lanes are blocked in either direction, but definitely feeling the pinch there from that fire nearby. I'm looking at your ride on Interstate 80 between Vallejo and Vacaville. No fires in that area, but we do have the commute going now through Fairfield with brake lights approaching Manuel Campos eastbound on 80, but no accidents or stalls. In Fremont, a backup is growing. I can see with the Chilton Auto Body Collision Cam southbound 880, a crash just after Stevenson. Injury crash is now on the shoulder, but 3 cars. There's a lot of commotion there, and it's backed up now from Dakota Road southbound. Your next update, 3:18 on the traffic leader, KCBS. We've warmed up a little bit more today. It's toasty inland, upper 80s to low 90s there, 70s near the bay. But then we start cooling down tomorrow. Temperatures are really going to fall to below average Friday and Saturday. Partly cloudy skies, 60s by the bay, upper 60s to low to mid 70s inland. Traffic and weather together on the 8th on All News 106.9 and AM 740 KCBS. Stanford Children's Health is proud to be ranked as the top 10 children's hospital in the nation, and once again ranked in all 10 specialties, with 4 specialties ranking in the top 10 nationwide by U.S. News and World Report. World-class pediatric care is close to home. Stanford Children's Health.
When temperature is heating up, water is on everyone's mind. This is Claire Beverly, and I want to tell you about Life Source Water, the Bay Area's most recommended whole house water system. LifeSource filters out harsh chemicals like chlorine and chloramines that cities add to your hetch-hetchy water. Without these chemicals, you will love the feel of your hair and skin and the fresh taste of your water. LifeSource reduces hard water problems and provides great tasting filtered water from every faucet in your home. And LifeSource systems are 100% maintenance-free. No filters to replace, no salt, and no need to buy plastic water bottles. So LifeSource is great for people, pets, and the planet. And to celebrate July 4th, LifeSource will pay your sales tax. Yes, they will pay your sales tax. For a limited time, you can save big on clean water in your entire home. This offer ends soon, so call LifeSource Water at 888-712-4279 or visit lifesourcewater.com. That's 888-712-4279. Taste and feel the difference every day.
Attention Bay Area homeowners. Are you looking to sell your house without all the stress? John Buys Bay Area Houses can buy your house cash and close on your timeline. No commissions, no repairs, no appraisals, no showings, no headache. Call John now, 510-426-7000, or go online to johnbuysbayareahouses.com to get a free, no obligation cash offer for your house. Behind on payments? The tenants skipped rent? The house needs too many repairs? Not a problem. John buys houses in any condition and deals with any situation. There's a reason why John Buys Bay Area Houses is the most trusted home buyer in the Bay. Go online to get your offer today. johnbuysbayareahouses.com or call 510-426-7000. That's 510-426-7000.
KCBS News Time 3:11. This portion of the News Watch is sponsored by Pacific Coast Termite.
Work is set to begin this year on over 100 fire mitigation projects across Marin County. And this is part of a $20 million publicly funded program announced this week. KCBS's Jeffrey Schaub reports the projects include creation of 83 miles of fuel breaks in the Ross Valley and Novato.
It could take years for fire crews like this team cutting trees and brush behind a San Rafael neighborhood to complete the 83-mile-long fire break, an unprecedented effort in the Bay Area.
That impacts us greatly. It's just having a funding source to be able to carry out these projects.
Kate Anderson is hazard mitigation specialist for San Rafael Fire, a newly created position not possible without funding from the Marin Wildfire Prevention Authority. This year, it will dole out $20 million in property tax money for vegetation management, evacuation routes, and homeowner grants.
The other really incredible part about the Marin Wildfire Prevention Authority is that it is almost a countywide program. And that really enables us to look at